Welcome back to Science First Graders. I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to transition from learning about plants and we're going to start learning about animals today. And I'm so excited to start talking about these animals and different ways that animals have different body parts that help them survive. And all the cool stuff that we can learn about. And I'm really excited to get started on that. But first, I want to take some time to celebrate some of our students' success, some awesome work that we got from our plant activity and our plant quiz. And I want to share some of that with you today. I'm going to move myself over here and we're going to take a look at some of the work that you guys did. I'm going to leave this in your assignment so you can go back and look at some of your classmates' work and see all the cool stuff they did when they labeled their plants so that you can get an idea of how to label in this activity today. Let's start with this one right here. You can tell that this one looks like it normally has flowers on it. They've correctly identified the stems, which I love. We got the leaves here, which is great. We have the stem that you can see they've pointed out. And you can notice that it's in a pot. So you can't really see the seeds or the roots down here, but they've made sure to show you where they would be. They would be obviously in the dirt in that spot. So that's really cool to see there, and I'm really excited to see that one. Let's take a look at another one that we have from one of our classmates here. You can see that they've drawn it and put it all together. They left flower out because there is no flower on bamboo. Bamboo does not have a flower, but they pointed out the stem, the leaves, the roots, and the seeds would be down in the bottom part of the plant as well. So she's got that one there. Let's take a look at this one. We have here, this one actually does have flowers, and they've labeled it. You can't really see it behind me. Let me move myself. We've got the flowers labeled here, which is nicely the stem, the leaves, the roots, and the seeds would be down here. Remember, you can also label the seeds in the flower themselves. They're hiding up in there, but I really like this one. They've actually got that flower, which is really pretty, and they helped show us that there. This one is really cool because it has a bunch of different things going on here. The roots, obviously, they've got it pointing down here, down underground. That's where the roots would be. Flower at the top here. You could also say that these would be the flower up here, which are really nice. We have the leaves being pointed to, the stems on these. So awesome little, maybe a succulent plant, but I really like this one. This is a cool example here. We have another example here from Ms. Browning's class. And I love that we have seeds are in the soil. She told us where they are. That's awesome, showing us, where they are. The stem is in the middle, telling us where it's at. And the roots are going to be at the bottom, and the leaves are here. I love that we were told where they're going to be in the plant, and then we've got full sentences there. I even saw some periods and capitals. Love that. You're going to want to make sure you've got those capitals and those periods in today's assignment. That's going to be really important and really helpful for today's work and what you're doing in today's assignment as well. Let's take a look. We've got one more here that I want to look at today, first grade friends. This one comes again from Miss Browning's class. We have the leaves, the stem, the roots, and the seed all placed where they would be perfectly in order in the succulent. I love that the first grader put themselves in the picture there as well. I love it. Now let's go ahead and dive into our activity today, and I'm going to take some time to explain it to you as well. So I'm going to move myself down here. We're going to go ahead and jump to the first page of our assignment today, and we're going to look here, and we're going to talk today about what kind of different animal eyes you would like to have. At this point, you should have listened to the read aloud for what kind of animal eyes you have. We've read kind of books like this, so this would be something we're familiar with. I am going to use chameleon eyes, and I don't want anyone else to use those, so that's going to be my teacher example, and I'm going to use chameleon eyes, and I'm going to tell you what it would be like if I had chameleon eyes, and how I use those and why I want chameleon eyes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my example. I'm going to switch over I'm going to do the pen. I like the pen, but I will change my color to this dark blue here. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I need to look up how to spell this because please excuse me, first graders. I don't know how to spell chameleon. That's a hard word. So I wish I had. I don't believe I spelled that right, and that's really hard to see. So let's go ahead and erase that. Chameleon eyes. I wish I had. chameleon eyes because now you're going to tell me a reason why you wish you had those animal eyes. So everyone knows at this point in time that Mr. Cottingham has two sons. I have a second grader and a third grader. They are two very wild little boys, as little boys are. We all know that little boys are crazy and run around and are wild, and I know that because I was a little boy once. And so they're always all over the place and constantly going all over the place. Just running around the house, the backyard, the park. They have a lot of energy. So for me, I wish I had chameleon eyes because I could use them to watch both of my first graders because I'm going to think back to, or both of my sons, because I'm going to think back to my story. And I'm going to think back to the reading in the read aloud. And it told me that the chameleon has very special eyes like telescopes. They're more like permanent open. They don't close. They're permanently there, but they're like telescopes and they're focused. But the cool thing about them is they can each move in a different direction at different times. So they don't move together. They can move separate. So they can watch different things at different times. So I could use both chameleon eyes to watch both of my sons at the same time. So I'm going to write that. So I wish I had chameleon eyes because I could watch both my sons running around at the same. I ran out of space, so I'm going to write my word right down here. Oops. And I'm going to make sure I put my period as well. Excellent. So because I could watch both my sons running around at the same time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to this blank space and I'm going to draw a picture of myself. Now, if you know anything about Mr. Cottingham, I'm not a really good drawer, so I'm just going to draw my best as best as I can. There's my little hat that I'm wearing today. My arms. All right. And then I'm going to draw, you know what? I'm going to make this better. Let's make this bigger. Let's erase this. Let's make myself bigger. Let's make my head bigger. I'll draw my hat that I've got on. Now, these are my big chameleon eyes. And I'm going to draw a line there because I'm going to label them here in a second. And we're labeling any other body parts that we use to help survive. So we obviously use our arms to survive. We use our mouths to survive. And I'll draw little hands as well. And I'll label hands. So I'm then going to make some labels really fast. I'm going to label my chameleon eyes. Make that a little bit smaller. Those are my chameleon eyes. I made a line for my mouth and I labeled my mouth in my picture. So I'm going to draw that, make that smaller. I did one for my hands. So I want to make sure I label my hands because that's something I have in there. Because I use my hands to survive. Or also my chameleon eyes, my mouth, my hands. And then the last thing I use to survive are my arms. My last body part that I would use there to survive is my arms. So I'd have all of those labeled to show all those parts, especially my chameleon eyes. Then I can add some color. And then on the last page, you need to tell me how these would help you, how that body part or these animal eyes would help you survive. So for me, chameleon eyes would help me survive by being able to see food in all different directions. And I remember that because that's what it said in the story. It said that the chameleon uses its eyes to look in different directions for to see its prey and see where they're going. So I would, if I was a chameleon, I would use these eyes to help me be able to find food in all different directions as well. So food, helping it find food to eat, that's really important. We all need to eat. Animals need to eat. We're animals. They're animals. So that would be the important thing there. So when you're done, first graders, you're going to give it a good check mark up in that corner, and that's going to tell me that you've turned it in. That's going to send it to me, and that's going to be it today. So I hope that you enjoyed science today. I enjoyed teaching you today. We're going to learn more about animal parts tomorrow as well, and different ways that animals can be different and help the how those different animal parts can help them survive. We started it today. I'm excited to continue learning about animals. Animals are really cool. So thank you so much, first grade friends. Have a good one.